Something tells me they might be through.
Destroy them! No prisoners! Do not waste my time. Flush them out!
Hey guys, it's Merrick, and I've got another gameplay commentary here today. In this one, I'm playing Planetside 2 on TR and running the Butcher. Everything else in this loadout is pretty much standard for me. I'm running high velocity and extended mags on the Butcher, and I'm running survivalists. I will be trading that out at some point during this fight for Athlete because getting around is pretty nice and it helps getting back to the fight. I also feel like I should mention that I am just lazy, and in this recreation screenshot I didn't change my suit slot to munition suits, but ASC does not stack with Survivalist when it comes to the shield regen speed, so you do not want to have both of them on at the same time. If you want to run Survivalist, then you want to put Flak Armor or Grenade Bandolier or something on in your suit slot. If you want to run ASC, then you should run Sensor Shield or some other convenience implant. With that all finally out of the way though, paperwork is officially done and we can get into the gameplay commentary. I'm fairly certain I'd gotten in late and was trying to get into the game as fast as I could because I've forgotten my recursion overlay for the first few minutes. It shows up later, so we'll get the score then. But my general idea here is we've just spawned at a containment site and we're trying to push back a relatively equal pressure situation. The enemy team has a slight advantage in population, but we have a good defensive position at the bottom of these stairs, which is a really hard choke to push through, especially when there's an organized or even populous defense, so long as people are watching both angles. I got a pick off over the shoulders of some allies while they were trying to push up, and then after taking a look around and realizing that literally all of the pressure is above, I decided to push up the ramp with them, and we get into a kind of odd situation trying to fight through the smoke. I actually managed to play reserved because I expect a whole lot of pressure, and I assume if I peek out I'm going to instantly die. Kinda like what happened there. I had my overshield on, so he was able to see the glow of that through the smoke, which also happens with the medic nanomesh field to some extent, and the shield you get from reviving off the medic nade. I take a quick fight there, and I know that guy's going to swing close, so I try to not take a whole wide peek, and I do manage to get that kill. I try to take more, and this is kind of what I was talking about, where I felt like I had a lot of opportunity tonight, but just due to playing actually not as well as I should have, I wind up missing a lot of free kills here. I got picked up by an ally, I managed to kill the guy that traded me, and then as I try to go push up this ramp and hold more, I see people jumping down and basically just trying to get peeks and see if they can actually take a position. That guy dropped down in the center of the stairway. I should have been able to kill him, but I was not leading properly. I do take up a good position though. At this position here, I can either use the container on my left and peek the right side of the top ramp, or I can use this pillar that I am now using here and take in position on any of these left tight angles. And I can pretty much make any of them a 1v1 if I wanted. The problem with the pillar is that there's nowhere to rotate off if they were to all collapse and make a sudden push, and it's in position to be naded pretty easily without a whole lot of rotate paths. The container is a much nicer, more solid piece of cover, but it's limited to only the right side. I continue to hold this position here and just try to fight them as they come down the ramp. Like I said, I don't pick up a whole lot of kills, and I feel like I kind of dropped the ball there and could have done better, but overall, the decision to defend from this position and use these angles is not an incorrect one, it is just not performed as efficiently as it could have been. There's a lot of damage done here, not a whole lot of kills, so this is also an important time for me to mention to make sure to keep your burst patterns tight. My aim is not awful here, but my burst patterns are not tight enough, and they're too close together. I'm not giving it enough time to reset to actually get full accuracy back for the next burst, so despite the fact that my crosshair is near them, my bullets are going all around them instead, and I'm just not stopping long enough to recognize and respect it. The pressure here lasts a little while longer, but seeing that we have a good hold and there's a little bit of a gap in the pressure, I actually decide to rotate around to the other side and see if I can get any kills there or even get a flank moving up the other ramp. Turns out when I get over here though, there's actually both slightly less pressure and less of a defense. If the amount of people on the other ramp had instead decided to walk down this ramp, they would basically go uncontested until we got in a position to stop them down lower. I take up a position and take some long-range butcher fights, which are by far not the butcher's favorite place to be in, but this is a good opportunity for me to work on those burst patterns, so I decide to take the fights anyway. I get taken out eventually, but I do manage to get rezzed, and then it seems like there's a lull in pressure, so I try to push up, only to find out that it was all a horrible trap. My hatred of infiltrators had me ignore the guy to my close left to shoot at an infiltrator that I watched disappearing into the ether, and it obviously didn't work out. However, my amazing decision-making skills, after I take this fight, lose, and have to run all the way back is when I swap to Athlete, and by the time I get all the way back, they've actually broken through and are pushing down those two main staircases. I'm positioning just to try to catch some people as they push across for cover through the open, and while I'm doing that,
just tried to
some
Phoenix
insane person tries to hit me with a Phoenix. It wouldn't have killed me, but I like the energy. I keep trying to hold this angle and kill anybody that comes across, and there's really nobody crossing. It seems like there's a lot less pressure than I thought, even though they still have a position. So I just slowly work my way up. Seems like some of the others do actually manage to push up with me, and we get to the bottom of the stairs to find out that it was just a small breakthrough. We get pushing, go all the way back upstairs, and only run into them at the top of the staircase again. My brain activates momentarily, and I see a max coming, so I back off and get my decimator ready. I'm expecting to catch him on any corner that I can, get the decimator in, and then reload while I'm kiting him. But when I go to peek him, somebody else shows up, and then another intruder shows up, intervening in my honorable max 1v1. This does mean, though, that if I want to hold this position, I have to give ground. So I back up, get my main weapon out, because there's no chance of me getting my decimator ready in time, and I still don't see this max. But I do see some reses coming, so I just hold this position, and I fight these guys as they're trying to establish a position on the stairs. I mess this up through a combination effect. I mess up shots that should have been free kills. I could have led better and gotten headshots, and then I get greedy. I go for this kill on the guy on the stairs, rather than just making sure to swing on this guy close right. The guy on the close right steps out, eats some of the bullets, does manage to die, but because of that, I don't get him. I don't get the guy in the back on the staircase, and I was just not prepared for that, so I'm not in a proper position to rotate out, and I just get run over. Had I stopped that medic from getting to the corner, and had I been more prompt on those headshots, because I hit that guy with all bodies, I would have been able to back up farther down the stairs and bleed them out, getting a handful more kills, potentially even killing all 5 of them if they decided to all take 1v1s and allow me to kite them to full effect. Basically, I mishandled the situation and did it to myself. Getting back to the bottom of the stairs, however, I have a few goals in mind. First of which is avoid nades, second of which is find a good place to get some peeks in. I went for a peek on that corner, pre-aiming somebody on the bottom left, and I was relatively close to where I wanted to shoot, but then I noticed there were 3 people peeking me, and had I taken that fight, I would have died. I did manage to rotate out in time, but now I'm just trying to wait for any amount of pressure where they're pushing down or some kind of opening where I can actually find a fight. I don't want to push up and peek all 3 of them at the same time because it's really not a likely fight to win, even if I'm peeking into them. The best I can really hope for in this situation is that I would trade out 1 for 1. But with a bunch of people walking down to the bottom of the staircase, there's a very high possibility that they're just not all prepared. So I go for a peek and immediately catch a grenade launcher to the forehead. The guy's obviously just a better player than me. But as I get back here after running back, it is a much more chaotic situation. They've made it to the bottom of the stairs, and I have to take fights from the corners of our stairs, and they're also actually getting around behind this pillar. So I'm just doing what I can to fight from the corner. That involves quick peeks, fighting 1 or 2 people at a time, backing off when I get shot, because with the amount of people here, as soon as I realize I'm taking damage, it's very easy to be already dead. I throw a decimator for a free kill into a mass of people because there's no way I can peek into that and hold my position long enough to get a kill with a gun without actually just getting murdered. But as soon as that happens, because luck fucking hates me, there's a max pushing me.
You know
and
what? I think they're
as I
out.
go to decimator him, somebody runs up in front of me and eats it. So I'm decimatorless as the max pushes down. These guys have very easily broken out, but they all just gain momentary amnesia and don't look at me. So we just get away with a whole lot of shit. And it's nice. That's the most kills I've ever gotten on 10 health in I think I've ever seen. They just didn't shoot at me. So they're officially into the base. I make a run back, trying to stop them as far up as I can. I see a max in the middle of the hallway and I take a long fight with him. I manage to get a kill out of it, but I wind up missing a guy up close. He runs around the server and just immediately kills me. I actually am pretty sure I saw him and I was just too busy tunnel visioning. But coming out of my spawn again, they're already trying to lick the spawn, so I have to fight people down a long hallway yet again. There's only really one guy that decides to peek out and fight, and he gets rezzed a few times and I pick him up, but none of them actually make a push down the hallway until the continent ends. So we just head off to the next continent. So I'm a little distracted here. I actually had to mute my own mic because Video Merrick wouldn't shut the hell up and was conversing with chat. He autopiloted off a terrible direction towards the ground and winds up catching some people coming down the cliff. There's really no reason for me to be there. I was on autopilot just chatting and not paying attention to what I was doing. But from there, I'm trying to find any fight that I can actually get to, and the only thing that's going right now as the continent's opening is Indar Kamaray. And because of the way we're contained, I'm actually having trouble making contact with anybody. I'm seeing them for a brief instant here or there, getting a few bullets on them, but actually getting people to take an engagement against is not actually working out all that great. I also died of Schrodinger's C4. It's not there on the ground until suddenly somebody walks by, and then suddenly it is, and I just immediately die for free because I didn't actually catch it and kill the guy. We don't manage to get a footing on that point, and I actually rotate off to TI alloys instead. Blue makes themselves known pretty quickly though, coming up the hill and running in the side door. I managed to stop the ones that are pushing up, and after a little bit of struggle, I'm able to push them back a little bit and get some room.
I'm so bad right now.
I feel like I'm in good positions a lot of times right now, but I'm really not making the shots. Like, I have so much opportunity today. I'm being given all the opportunity, and I am just fumbling all of it. After a little more complaining and bitching, I went way downstairs, and I try to hold this doorway for a push coming in. I overestimate my own abilities, and I don't toggle my shield when I should have. And I just lose a fight I didn't need to. I didn't even toggle my shield. I thought he was dead. Was already moving to another character. From there, I hit a flank with a few other TR, and I actually decided to hold close to the wall, which gives me the most limited amount of angles on where the enemy are at. I expect them to come push to us when they find out where we're at, and sure enough, they come flying over the wall shortly thereafter, and then I start taking a slightly wider peek now that I've cleared something out, but I miss somebody and I get taken out from the side. I run it back, and I take somebody out right as I get into the doorway, but somebody else is on a real tight headshot angle that manages to allow him to get away. I dump a nade, and then try to re-engage to give myself the initiative, but it turns out he actually, or somebody looks like him, came around that back corner. As my ally pushes in to deal with somebody hanging that box close, which might have been our same guy, I'm able to pick up that guy and push him to the side. Now I'm taking much more aggressive angles because we have much more control, and there's actually a giant max crash coming in the front because this is a max alert, because why the fuck wouldn't it be? We've completely broken this point, and I just run around and pick up a few more stragglers before heading off to the next. Redeploying from here, I wind up at Regent Rock Garrison, where I immediately start running into enemy pressure before I even get down the stairs of the tower. Unfortunately, I'm an ape and I don't let my recoil reset right now for some reason, so he gets away for free and I manage to chase him down though. I can't tell how much pressure is actually happening around here, how many people there are, so I kind of just run around. I don't manage to find a whole lot more. I get one more person and I redeploy out because I actually just got completely baited by this point. However, shit is popping the fuck off at Dahaka's southern outpost. I spawned at a player base to take a flash down, which gives me an interesting angle of approach and actually allows me to get somebody in the doorway. My teammate managed to get in between me and him, and I just happened to get the last bullet on him, which is unfortunate, but it happens. I see someone close in this corner on the minimap, and I try to run them down. I managed to pull it off, but it's not very clean as they try to push me at the same time, and they have a teammate, so I get taken out. But I just run back, jump over the wall, and I try to take fights, pushing my way up to the doorways. I'm trying to stay near cover because this is a chaotic situation and I don't know where people are going to be showing up from. If I'm near cover, it gives me something to rotate around. There's still glue even dropping in, and I managed to catch someone on the flank, but I'm not able to save the teammate. And as I rotate around, I do manage to find a lane up to the door, and I'm able to take out a beacon while I do it. Looking at my minimap, I can see someone's close on this corner. I don't know if there's anybody with sentry shield or not, but it looks like there's just one, and I'm able to push up and take them out without them really being able to expect us. From here, I managed to wrap around and push into the building and get a nice flank, but I don't actually get any kills from it. But that does bring our video to a close, as this has already been a half-an-hour session with 66 kills in 33 minutes. Definitely not a bad session, but considering how often I managed to just shoot bullets at nothing, I believe if I had kept my cool and not freaked out a little bit, I would have gotten a better return and potentially done a lot better. As I said in the reading and rotating video though, it's about being in the right place versus being able to execute perfectly though, and this probably showcases that pretty well. I hope you guys got something from this video. Let me know what you do like, let me know what you don't like, let me know what you think, so I can improve these going forward. Thank you guys for the support, and I'll see you guys next time.